Bran is now the Three-Eyed Raven and faces the task of learning everything he can to defeat the White Walkers before the Long Night comes. Bran's ability to foresee the future, visit the past, and alter history gives him a crucial, irreplaceable role in the fight against the White Walkers. But what is Bran's true significance in the Long Night? What information must he find? Who must he help? And what must he do?
Now you've come to me at last, Bran Stark. Though the hour is late.
I didn't want anyone to die for me.
He died so you could find what you have lost.
You're going to help me walk again?
You'll never walk again. But you will fly.
Bran's whole journey to become the Three-Eyed Raven was to find what he had lost. This is based on the fact that Bran had something to begin with, but he ended up losing it, or he had it taken away from him. In this scene, Bran immediately thinks of his accident, being pushed off the tower, losing the use of his legs. But his legs are just the catalyst of the life that he lost. It is an excuse to explain the inner pain that he suffers. Bran lost more than his legs. He lost his freedom to dictate his own life. He didn't choose to be a cripple or the Three-Eyed Raven. It was a path that was given to him. Bran chose to be a knight. He wanted to be a defender of the realm, but instead he must spend his days educating himself for the war to come.
What's in that tower? I want to go back there.
I've told you many times. Stay too long where you don't belong, and you will never return.
Why do I want to return? So I can be a cripple again? So I can talk to an old man in a tree?
You think I wanted to sit here for 1,000 years, watching the world from a distance, as the roots grew through me?
So why did you?
I was waiting for you.
I don't want to be you.
Bran's mission to learn everything is tied to his past and his loss. It is his destiny to learn, but in order to do so, he must reconnect with what he has lost in his past. Bran lost a lot more than his legs or his life falling out of that tower. He lost his family. And Bran's key mission to defeating the White Walkers is tethered to finding what he has lost. And for Bran, this is his family.
Family, duty, honor.
Those are Tully words, your mother's. Are we playing a game?
Family, duty, honor. Is that the right order?
You know it is.
Family comes first.
Your mother had to leave Winterfell to protect the family.
How can she protect the family if she's not with her family?
Your mother sat by your bed for 3 weeks while you slept.
And then she left.
When you were born, I was the one who pulled you from your mother. I placed you in her arms. From that moment until the moment she dies, she will love you. Absolutely. Fiercely.
After Bran's accident, he was left unconscious. When he woke, he felt abandoned, isolated, and alone. His fathers and sisters were gone, Jon left for the Wall, and his mother left him without a reason. From there on out, he spent his days in Winterfell until Robb had to go to war, and he left Bran in his stead. And the only family member that was with Bran was Rickon. And when he left Winterfell, he ended up taking Rickon with him, but they had to part ways so Bran could pursue his destiny. But the real unfortunate part is that Bran never got to say goodbye, and the majority of his family died. Bran is the Three-Eyed Raven for a lot more than his Greenside ability. He is the Three-Eyed Raven because of his family history, which is rooted deep in his past. His family is the key to defeating the White Walkers, and he is the tool to access the information. He has had many dreams in his past of a Three-Eyed Raven, and every time Bran sees this Three-Eyed Raven, he is taken to a family event. And these family events are rooted deep in his past. They return him to a moment that he has lost, and they hold hidden context on how to defeat the Night King.
Don't think too much, Bran.
Relax your bow arm.
And which one of you was a marksman at 10?
You can't kill it, you know.
Why not?
Because the Raven is you.
Bran can never kill the three-eyed raven because Bran is the three-eyed raven. Every time Bran has followed the three-eyed raven, he is actually following his older self. The raven always takes Bran back to his family to experience a past memory, returning him to what he has lost. These experiences hold hidden answers to defeating the Night King, and they foreshadow the one individual in his past who can help him do so.
Burn them all!
Where's my sister?
And it all comes back to Jon, the White Wolf, the Crow, the Dragon, and the prophesized Savior. Bran and Jon have nearly interacted on multiple occasions and have both saved each other on their journey to reach their end goal. Bran's journey is to become the Crow, to learn about his past, and Jon is about shedding the Crow to become the man he is supposed to be. The characters have always been in each other's midst, but they've never known how integral they were to each other's survival and to defeat the Night King. Jon is the key to defeating him, and Bran's job is to discover that. Unfortunately, Bran has never been able to hit his target, because the man Bran needs was the man right next to him.
Don't think too much, Bran.
I know we always talked about seeing the wall together, but you'll be able to come visit me at Castle Black when you're better. I'll know my way around by then. I'll be a sworn brother of the Night's Watch. We can go out walking beyond the wall if you're not afraid.
Bran leaves himself hidden messages for his young self to discover. One of these times, Bran led his younger self to a tree. And in this tree, he found his mother, and she ended up throwing him off the tree. And in this dream, it insinuates that Catelyn was the one who crippled Bran.
Mother, how many times have I told you? No climbing. Mother, I need to find it. It's here. It's calling me. No more climbing. Promise me. Promise me. Promise me. Promise me. Promise me. Promise me. Let the boy live. Let him live. And I'll love him. I'll be a mother to him. I'll beg my husband to give him a true name. To call him Stark and be done with it. To make him one of us.
And he lived.
And he lived. And I couldn't keep my promise. And everything that's happened since then. All this horror that's come to my family. It's all because I couldn't love a motherless child.
This scene has strong significance because Catelyn feels that she is the one who brought all this tragedy to her family because she couldn't love a motherless child. She might as well have thrown Bran off the tower herself. And she is right in a way. Her hatred for Jon made him who he is supposed to become. He grew up as a neglected bastard with no titles to anything. He was able to experience the harshness of life because Catelyn laid the fundamental groundwork to who Jon grew to become. He ended up idolizing his new father and left for the Wall to make him proud. And this is where Jon started his story, the learning of discovery and perspective. In a sense, she made Jon who he is, and she had to throw Bran off the tree to guide him as the savior. After Bran awoke from his fall, his first dream was a three-eyed raven flying into the crypts of Winterfell, into the depths of his family history. And Bran said that this three-eyed raven took him to see his father not long after his death. This could be Bran showing his younger self the secret that lies in the crypts of Winterfell. Bran might not have just seen Ned, but Ned looking at the tomb of Lyanna, the very place he ended up sacrificing his honor, and the place he left answers for Jon Snow. Bran will soon return to Winterfell, and we will see the three-eyed raven enter the crypts of Winterfell again, but this time he's going to be looking for answers. All of this knowledge Bran is seeking is to aid Azor Ahai in defeating the Night King. Bran has already discovered some truths about his father and Jon Snow, but there is much more to learn. With Bran, it all started with the Raven. It is his older and wiser version of himself, leaving hints about Jon and where to start and where to go. Bran has just become the Three-Eyed Raven, and his first realization so far was Jon Snow's parentage. The Tower of Joy was Bran's first task as the Three-Eyed Raven to get a better understanding of Jon, and this understanding is crucial before the long night comes. And what's next for Bran is pursuing discovery of his half-brother by returning to the depths of history to allow Jon to be the man who he's supposed to become. And this journey will continue on. Bran will learn more details about Jon's history. He'll become more experienced as the Three-Eyed Raven, and he will revisit the place where it all began. We will see the Three-Eyed Raven return to the crypts again, but this time with the purpose of aiding Jon Snow to become his shadow and his watchful protector when the long night begins. Jojen once told Bran that he dreamed of a winged wolf, bound in chains. These chains were holding the wolf back, and the Three-Eyed Raven was chipping away at the chains. This vision is the story of Bran. Jon is the winged wolf. He has been bound in chains his whole life. After a lifetime of experience, it is time for the Three-Eyed Raven to set him free, to allow him to become the savior he was prophesied to be.